Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some FF14 action, and I wanted to update you on where our journey is, because as you might have seen, I did do some casting for the Ultimate that has just come out, but part of it is I don't have that knowledge that I carry into World of Warcraft, and over the last few weeks, I have been trying out every class and spec in the game that I could get my hands on to start leveling them, start learning what they do, what they bring to the composition, and it's so important for me to know what the other classes do, because what was the advice I always gave to people in World of Warcraft, which is the chances of you choosing your favorite class, first of all, when you get to that character creation screen, are practically goddamn zero. It's really, really unlikely. Some people did stumble into it and were like, this is perfect, I'm fine, I'm happy with it. But for the most part, people end up playing alts and stuff forever. So that's what I've been doing lately. And as you can see over here, I've not unlocked everything yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Some very varied gear levels, which will tell you where they're at, but I'm getting there. And today we're going to be trying out the Reaper. The Reaper, and playing around with that. I've been playing this now for the last couple of days, and actually found it very enjoyable. Although, I'm definitely picking up on one of the things that I heard talked about a lot as we fight to obtain here. When I came into FF, I obviously knew so little about the game and didn't want to get spoiled that I couldn't really take part in things like the patch notes, right? So watch this mobility. So I can disengage out, I get a free spell, and then I can warp straight back into position. This mobility is definitely my favorite aspects of the Reaper, is being able to utilize that effectively and make sense of it. But it's been a case of I'm definitely noticing what people were talking about, because during those notes readings, people were coming and saying, like, Mike, what do you think about the button bloat that's in FF14? I was like, I've played one spec, bro. I've played one spec. It doesn't feel particularly bloated to me, so I'm not sure what I can add to the conversation at that point. But now I'm trying out more specs. Yeah, I see exactly what people are talking about. And often there's a really weird duplication, I guess is the word we will look for. Duplication of basically the exact same spell over and over again. Reaper would be a good example of that. This one's 75, so it's still got some ways to go before it's... I've got the full lay of the land, let's put it that way. So always take what I'm saying here with a little pinch of salt. Oh, I got a Vol stack. I was trying to help out the Meteor Man. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I haven't done this fight in forever. This is Titania. It's the first boss of Shadowbringers, the first trial boss that you get in Shadowbringers. So it's definitely been a long time. So Midsummer Night's Dream. I don't know what this does. Often when we do these sort of discussion videos where I'm trying out different specs and classes, there will be opportunities, moments where I'm like, I did this fight once during the MSQ, and I'm relearning it now. So it's one of those. I do have a very cool spell here, which is called Arcane Circle, which will buff the damage of the entire group. Oh, I'm dead. I am super dead. Let's drop a shield, mayhaps. Okay, so I totally forgot it does this, as did other people, it looks like. I've used all my heals. I survived. Okay, fantastic. That could have ended way worse. That could have ended way worse. I totally forgot that was a thing, as I was just explaining. I totally forgot that was a thing. Now, if I remember right, this boss splits into other bosses, and that's when I kind of want to use that cooldown, so that's my thinking on it right now. I'm sure it'll be fine. But going back to what I was saying about the button bloat then. So, like, AoE, for example, for the Reaper, and again, it's early days, so this might develop and change, is 5 separate spells which kind of do the exact same thing. You know, they do AoE damage. That's pretty much it. So, hold on. We got to do some movement here. I'm going to move over here. We'll wait for this to cast, and then we'll go back in. For example, I have a debuff that I keep up. You see this Death's Design? This increases my damage done to the target by 10%. And I have a single target version of that and an AoE version of that. So they're both practically identical spells. Let's pop this debuff here. So the whole group is buffed and can do big dam. So that's obviously something I want to keep up. Move out of these pink circles so I don't get AoE damaged. That's obviously something I want to keep up, is this Death Design debuff. You can see I have it up on the target. So I just have 2 spells. One is the AoE version, one is the single target version. Following that, I then have some combos I can do. You can actually see when I press, you can see this gauge that's filling up, this blood gauge. You see it's lit up this button, E and Shift E. Again, one of them is single target, One of them is AoE, but they're essentially the same spell. You know, but one does single target damage, one does AoE damage. On top of that, that then leads me to my other spells that come with this. So for melee, you can see my 1, 2, 3. They will light up as we go through the fight. And that's because 1 makes 2 better, which then makes 3 better, and then you cycle back through again. The same happens with AoE. Q, which is my spinning scythe, does AoE, which will then light up my shift Q, which then does stronger AoE. Oh, God, I thought that was when the bosses split. It's not. This is the boss split. Oops. I'm pretty sure we go for this one, though, so I'm going to go here, although I'm tanking now. This is probably not a good place, maybe? I don't know. Should be fine. Should be fine. But on top of that, so if I want to AoE, one help. Put my shield up. Put my shield up there. I'll use my self-heal. I can put a buff on myself that makes me self-heal, which is very nice. I wonder if I can use my ability here to nullify that knockback. I can. Beautiful. I haven't got Death's Design up because I'm a terrible player, and the group is dying. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Maybe I'm on the wrong target. I do have Limit Break, but it feels like inappropriate for me to use it on these things. Oh, I think one of the tanks did not go where he needed to be. Looking at the chat log that's happening here, looks like one of the tanks just went to slightly wrong position. So let's get this guy finished off. Mustard Seed. Get out of here. So I totally see where people are coming from, because I have 5 practically identical spells. They do some slight... Why are you running with us? Help? That was kind of spooks. Help with the meteor. There we go. We want to be Mr. Helpful. I can't nullify this knockback, so let's get a bit closer. We want to get knocked over there. Oh, I can attack this from miles away. Super. That's fantastic news. Uh-oh. Whoa. This is going to die, so we'll use our next raid cooldown on the boss itself, which makes sense to me. Okay, coming back to that. So I get it. I have 5 spells which practically do the same thing. It's just the order that they need to be pressed in, right? It's just the order. So you want to put your damage... It does Death's Demise, allows the target to take 10% more damage. And then you have the other ones that you want to do in their order as well, like activating AoE and some other things. But I will say this. If this was like a WoW thing, I'd be pretty pissed off. I was like, why do we have like 5 spells that basically do exactly the same thing? This is not fun. No, I saw the opportunity to come back. I'm going to take it. Are we not just standing water for Flame Rune? I often find myself when I do these trials that I'm trying to remember like what I did at the time. But I do forget. Meteor's on me. Come help me, friends. Come on, be a pal. Growth Rune. Is this where we spread out? Am I wrong? It is. Okay. Oh, I could have stayed in melee. Oh, well. I'm going to cast my little ranged shit ability here. Oh, the boss is over there. Help. It's fine. It's fine. We fixed it. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Well, because these fights are so much more technical in terms of positioning and stuff, I actually think having rather simplistic rotations works really well. I'm going to pop Limit Break here in a minute, because... Why wouldn't I? What is that? Oh, okay. I need to move, my friend. Let's go over here. Who's dead? A tank's dead. I can't see us wiping here. Right? You guys agree with me on that. Alright, let's Limit Break. Smash this boss. Boom! Oh, I'm stuck in the animation. Whoa, that was scary. Okay, we're back. That was scary. We got stuck in an animation there, because Limit Break, although the cast time is shorter, it does take an odd second to actually pull off. But because of the nature of these fights, I think having these not overly complex rotations actually suits the game perfectly. And it was one of those weird things where people talked to me about the rating differences in WoW and FF, because obviously it was a big conversation last night while watching the FF Ultimate raid. Is trying to get that message across to people who haven't tried it is really hard, because they have that same meta, you know, the tank, healer, DPS style, but the fights are so different. As you've watched this fight here, this is a story mode boss, so it's not super difficult. But you can see that a lot of it is about movement and making sure that you're not getting hit by extraneous things, although this is very forgiving as the normal mode version. GG team. Let's throw out a player commendation here. I always thought it's the healers. I think the healers sometimes carry the entire team, unbeknownstly. I really find that for all the other specs I've played, which have similar things, they have like an AoE button and a single target button. And it's something I often made jokes of in WoW, but here I think it really works because you can just focus on, especially as you get into the extremes and the savages and ultimately the ultimates, like there's so much involved with movement, precision, timings and things like that, that pissing about with your rotation and overly complex, making it super complex and min-maxing it with trinket procs, enchants, all that sort of stuff, really is counterintuitive to how FF works. And this is a Reaper is one of the later specs that was added to the game, and I can kind of see that design philosophy coming through compared to the older ones where they're now sort of adjusting them to bring them into the modern era. So over the next course of this series, I'm going to be trying out many, many more specs. Just give me a little time to get them leveled so we have a reasonable representation of what they do, and then we'll jump into them and figure out some more. All right, so that's where my head's at right now. That's what my journey's been on, but there's more to see for sure. So we'll catch up with you in the next few days, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.